I want to say thank you for the opportunity to be a part of this. I want to say that the role of the Indiana Department of Homeland Security as the State Emergency Management Agency is to serve as the coordination point or the coordinating agency for not only this event, but other events such as our recent flooding, storms, tornadoes, other disasters. Our role is to be that coordination point, coordinating agency, and allow the folks that have the specific expertise for whatever that incident may be to be freed up to be the lead agency. As is in this case, the Indiana State Department of Health is our lead agency for addressing the situation with the flu. As of yesterday morning, the Department of Homeland Security has activated the State Emergency Operations Center, and we've activated this. It's a normal step for us in many cases. Whenever there's a disaster, an emergency, a special event that needs attention, we activate the Emergency Operations Center and populate it with the emergency support personnel that have the expertise based on what the situation may be. We've staffed it with a limited group of staff that has that expertise, and right now it is staffed by the Indiana Department of Homeland Security, the State Department of Health, Board of Animal Health, the Indiana State Police, the Indiana National Guard, and the Indiana Department of Transportation. And based on some of the tasks and the planning issues that we're undertaking, that staff will expand and contract as necessary based on what those challenges are. The main purpose for that center is to serve as a focal point for the situational awareness around the state and to provide for a coordination and dissemination of information really between our federal partners and our local partners. And we want to make sure that we are passing information, we're collecting information, and we have a good idea of what's going on around the state. And secondarily, if a local community is impacted by an emergency, then we serve as a resource point for those requests as well. So in the event that local communities' resources are overwhelmed, they'll make requests up through the State Emergency Operations Center for state support or other necessary assistance. I want to maybe restate here, those of us in public safety and working with our colleagues in public health, we want to reassure the public that their role in all this is to pay attention, to be cautious, not to be afraid, but to be aware of how they can better protect themselves and protect their families from this particular virus, and as Dr. Monroe said, a variety of the common cold and flu, other flu viruses that are around. I want you to know that over the past several years, many of our public health and public safety agencies have been working on plans to address a pandemic influenza. And while the focus of that particular planning was really focused on an avian flu, most all of the efforts that the planning efforts that have taken place with this current strain of flu, while it's not an avian flu per se, really is applicable. We've been working very well together. We've been training, we've been exercising, we've been doing a lot of things for the last couple of years that have been very valuable that we are now looking at implementing those plans and to make sure that we're covering those gaps as they arise. I think I would be remiss if I wouldn't mention just very briefly, as in any emergency, it's our belief and our suggestion to our folks across the state that they take some responsibility about being prepared themselves and have their family prepared. We have tornadoes and storms and floods and other maladies that come to us across the state of Indiana. So it's this particular incident or this particular concern with the flu is really no different. We were asking each each citizen, each family to take the time to take a few simple steps to be prepared. A variety of resources online that can help you, a variety of public information that's available through your local emergency management office to talk about having a kit, having a plan, and preparing yourself and your family to take care of yourself in the event that our emergency responders are busy on a variety of a large-scale event, regardless of what it might be. So what we're asking is that everyone take the time to do that and to share and help one another, because if each one of us is responsible, each of us takes the necessary steps to take care of ourselves and our family, and they will allow our emergency responders, our public health professionals, to do a better job in taking care of us. Thank you very much. We're open for questions from the media.
This question is for either you, Mr. Wainscott, or Dr. Monroe. Some other states and local governments have come up with plans to shut down entire schools or businesses if someone within that school or business becomes infected with the swine flu. Are there any plans at the state level right now for something like that here in Indiana?
We are, as we are getting more intelligence around what the worst cases might be, that certainly will be a consideration. I mean, we would choose to close schools if we need to. Absolutely.
And we've been in discussions with the Indiana Department of Education, one of our partners, Dr. Tony Bennett, and all that consultation has already been taking place. And it would be an individual decision based on what the situation is in that community.
And what is the federal plans to make? One illness, two instances of school, how do you determine when you will actually shut down?
Yeah, guidance, this is a very fluid situation. I think that's really important to understand. A week ago, we weren't talking about this. This is less than a week that we're into this, so things are changing rapidly. CDC is updating guidance on a daily basis, sometimes twice a day. The latest guidance now, if you do have an individual in school, then it's a close that school. So we are looking at that.
What did Notre Dame do in response to this case?
Well, this individual was isolated. We're actually gaining our intelligence as we speak. We're doing the case investigation. This individual had not had travel. There wasn't anything in the history to know where the contact may have come from. So all that investigation is going through, and the individual is doing very well. And so as we gain more intelligence, decisions certainly may change. But right now, they're not seeing any further illness at Notre Dame.
Was this student attending classes there, though?
I don't have all the detail. It was a student at Notre Dame. I'm not sure what the activities were leading up to this, and I'll be in South Bend a little later.